Hello. Today I'm going to show how to thread and release the thread from my Brother Coverstitch machine. I have a Pacesetter Coverstitch 2340 CV. It's fairly simple. The only thing you really need to know is the tension dials. When you use different knits or woven, you might have to check it on scrap first to make sure you get the right tension. I only use 3 of the threads. You can use 4. If you use 4, you'll have an extra needle here, and when you do your sewing, you'll have 3 lines of thread. I only like the 2, so that's what I do. And then the back has the little piece. I just flipped that over with the serger. So, okay, let's go ahead and thread this. It's pretty similar to the serger. I'm using black thread, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. You don't have to go through this. I go through this because it's there. I think if you use thinner thread, you use it. It goes through the little catch on the top, just like how your serger does, and then you push this down to go through the tension disc. Now here you go to this bottom little piece here, and you go up under it. Then you go over this top little tensioner thing, not sure what it's called, and then you go through this double knot here. Then you go down here. There's a little hole in that bar, and you go through that hole. You just pull your thread, and then you go up through this little piece here, and then there's a knob on the machine where you can get to it. And I think I broke mine because it hits right here. I don't think it's supposed to do that. When I was learning how to release the fabric, I kept getting it caught. I tried to watch several videos on YouTube, and I could not get how they were doing it, so I had to figure out how to do it on my own. So you go through this little bitty piece on the top here of this little bar. I don't know if you can see that. Go through that, and then you thread this little needle hole right here. When you're done with that, you just pull it through the back, and then you shut this piece here. Make sure that it's stuck, and make sure you have enough thread there. Now this, you're only using these 2. This first one is the pink one. And then you push this button down again, and then like the serger, you go through like a regular sewing machine, and then you go down. The only time you go on this side of this little bar is the green, so if you have that extra spool, which I do not have. And then you go through, it has a little piece here, and you just rest it right behind that. And then you go through this little bar here, and then I have to clip my thread a little, and then I need to move my needle up a little so I can thread it. Sometimes it takes longer to put the thread through the needle hole. I don't know if I can get the little burger in there. Alright. And this is where it's really handy to have the tweezers, because then you can just pull it from the back. To pull it any further, you have to push this button down on the top. And let's see, I have this other one, and they have to go through the little loop in the top, if I forgot to say that. Pull this down, up and around, Like I said, it goes on that side. Now on this one, you go on this side of this little piece here. And sometimes it's a little tricky because it wants to go out of that. Then you go back down, do the little bar again. I try to separate my threads. I'm sure it probably don't matter. And then cut this again so I have a clean cut. And then, oh, my eyes are getting old. Can't see what I'm doing. Hold on. Try to see if I can cut that at an angle. Sometimes that helps. I'm gonna have to move my head in your way.
That's fine.
I'll probably be here all day. That happens when you get old and blind as a bat. Oh my goodness. It takes longer to put the hole in there, or the needle in there. Wish they had bigger thread, or bigger needle holes that you could put that in. So brother, if you're watching my video, come up with an easier way to thread these machines. Because when people get older like me, their eyes go bad. Why is it not? Oh, there we go. Pull that out. And I don't think I mentioned, but the thread I have is, it's the Sewology brand from Hobby Lobby. Okay, and what did my see?
Oh, no.
It's the Sewology brand from Hobby Lobby. You could get any thread. I know, I think Waywack is still having a sale on their serger threads. Okay. Then, you just put your needle, put your foot down. When I was first learning, I couldn't figure out where
It ended.
the bottom ended because, you know, you're used to sewing that way on a sewing machine. On the serger, you have to have it this way to have the lines on the top. So I would put a pin up here to remind me where my material is. Okay, so here we go. And then when you're done, you put your needle all the way up, and then I use my little pin here, and I go behind both the threads in the needle, and then I push these buttons and I pull it out. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as these are in the front. Then I lift my foot, I pull it to the back, and then I cut. Yes, it looks a little bit like a hot mess, but you just pull those extra threads and they're gone. And this is the thing. It's, you know, my tension probably could be better. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope maybe this might help somebody learn how to use their Coverstitch machine, because it is a really great machine. Well, y'all have a very blessed day. Goodbye.